Welcome to the Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host, and with us tonight are my son Michael, who's in charge of this production.
Good evening, everyone.
That's all you got to say, huh, Mike?
That's usually what I say. But,
okay.
I can hop in and take your place.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You'll have enough of that in the future. And also with us is Jeff, who's our chat moderator. Hello, Jeff.
There he is.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back, everybody. We missed you last month. We took a vacation, and I didn't feel we could squeeze it in. I couldn't get enough cut. So I've had a lot of time to cut, and we've got some interesting things to show you tonight.
Yep, we do. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Had an extra month to do some cutting here, so
yeah. So a lot of it I did cut this time. So
yeah.
So what
do we got going on? We got a trip coming up, right?
Yep. Yeah. I've been trying to plan a trip to Tanzania. First, we looked at Thailand and Tanzania, but the flights were so ridiculously priced. And with still having the COVID issue out there and even worse in Africa, just decided we're going to postpone it till next year sometime, which is unfortunate. I really wanted to get these two over there and show them what it's like. Jeffrey's used to being overseas. Michael, not so much, but I guess you've been to Mexico, so you've been out of the country.
We'll get him on a long flight one of these days.
So we're back to going to Montana, which Montana is one of my favorite places on the planet anyway. I was pushing them to go there, and I didn't get a real positive response, but rather go nowhere. I guess they've all accepted Montana.
I enjoyed Montana.
Yeah, we had a great time in Montana. Yeah. It'll be great this time because we're going to take the Montana trip, do sapphire mining, and then go up into Canada. And we're going to go after some amethyst. So it seems that we can do some mining for amethyst, or ammonite we'll be mining for. Ammonite's the animal, amethyst is the gem. And let me show you. This is what we're after. We managed to buy some really nice material in Tucson. And I sold probably all of it except this one. I think maybe we've got one made up piece. So we're going to go after more of this material, hopefully find some, hopefully get lucky and find one of those big ones. Because these ammonites come 6 foot across sometimes. And those are worth $70,000, $80,000, $100,000. So doubt we'll get that lucky, but hopefully we find something. And more important, I buy some great pieces up there, because they'll just be finishing up their season. So they'll have got a lot of cutting in, and I'm sure it'll be a really good trip. And so we'll see. It's just north of the border, about 150 miles. So we're going to do Glacier National Park before that, and we'll have an RV and travel up into Canada. It's I think I've been to Canada, but it's only to what's right across the border from Detroit. Windsor. Yeah, I think we went there to drink before we were 21, I think.
Yeah, I think we are. Yeah. 19? I think I drove up there right when I hit 19.
Yeah, that's been a few years ago. So it'll be good to get back to Canada. Get to a civilized country. Won't go there, but...
No, let's keep on going.
Yeah.
Let's keep on RVing.
So, Jeff, you want to tell them about the ways of payment for this?
Yep. I'm sure a lot of you...
some others.
What?
Go ahead.
Huh?
We probably had some other things to talk about.
Did we?
I know it's been too long. I forgot how this goes.
Well, we'll remember it as we go on. But
with luck.
Okay, I know. Looking at the chat, and that's one thing. If you're probably watching it. Well, you are watching this on YouTube right now. If you do log in to your Google account or YouTube, there is a lively chat that usually goes on. A lot of the regulars are there. And you can easily ask questions there. So if you just log in, nice little chat function, ask questions there. You can also ask questions. You can email us through the website, fill out the form, or there's also a chat function on the website, MoreGems.com, that I'm responding as well. But how it goes tonight is Steve's gonna be showing a lot of cool stones that he's cut. And if you're interested in any of them, you can go to MoreGems.com. There's a little green banner that shows how it's spelled. You go right to MoreGems.com. There's a big notification up there to take you to the collection of the show stones tonight. Find the stone that you liked. You can add it to your cart. You can put in the coupon code. I like this, Michael. Boom.
That's clever.
Yeah. Oh, you got that fireworks thing going on.
Yeah, red, white, blue.
Yes. So that is BOOM. Do not use zeros. But you enter in BOOM, the coupon code there, and you'll take an additional 15% off the price that's shown on the website. At checkout, you can use your credit card. We accept PayPal. We accept Bread, which is a financing option. And I think you can do some no interest financing for up to 6 months. And then I think you can go up to 12 actually, if you want to. So that does save you some money. The other option for you is if you want to hold the stone and do layaway, you can give us a call. You're going to have to wait till tomorrow. But we could put a stone away on layaway for you. And there are 2 hidden gems, correct, Michael?
Yeah, we got 2 of them this evening.
Yes. So you're not going to know what those are. They're not going to show up until we show them. But they are 2 hidden gems that will be mysteriously coming up throughout the show.
I did notate on the image themselves on the website too.
Okay, that they are hidden gems. Okay.
Doesn't stay the whole time.
Yeah.
Come back, they'll see which one it is.
Okay.
And
But it'll be on the website.
Those will be 25% off.
25% off the hidden gems. Okay. And one recommendation, if you do like a stone, there's been many situations where people are in the cart at the same time about to check out and somebody misses their opportunity. If you like the stone, grab it as soon as you can, because many times it's happened where somebody else grabs it right before they do and they're kind of disappointed. So, all right.
Good luck, everyone.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right. A little explanation about the pricing that's on the website. We use the Gem Guide, which, as it says, is a market-driven independent pricing guide. This is used by people in the industry for appraisals, for getting a general idea of what pricing is, because the people that run this magazine or this guide, they go to all the shows, and particularly Tucson, and I'm sure they do shows worldwide, and get prices from dealers on particular stones, and that's what they use for this wholesale pricing guide. And this guide is what we base our appraised price. Is that what it says, appraised price? Or what the regular price is, and then normal price. So that's based on the pricing and recommendations for markups from the Gem Guide. So that's what you'll see. In this case, it's $15.90. Our price online is $9.15, and then you'll take another 15% off that tonight with what's the code?
Coupon code. Boom.
Boom. Got that? All right.
Three fireworks.
Yeah, we should have had some fireworks for you. I'm sure you all had enough of that, but yeah. One thing that, a couple of things I learned today. I had an interesting situation, as we're jewelers also, and we get a lot of young people coming in asking for synthetic diamonds, and we're fine with selling them as synthetic diamond. Wouldn't be my choice, but if they want them, we're glad to sell one. And, we sold one today, which was not today, it was in April we sold it. And the customer came in today asking me about why, when she goes into her bedroom, her synthetic diamond fluoresces yellow. Right? And it doesn't make any sense to me. You have a black light in your room or what? So I took her to our back room, turned out the lights, and used the UV on it. And sure as heck, it fluoresced. But, the thing that was not explained was that she had no UV in her bedroom. So why was this stone glowing? And I turned my light off the stone that was fluorescing, and it was kind of a orangey red color as I saw it. And it continued to fluoresce, and it fluoresced this way for a couple of minutes. I don't know how long it had gone on. And this is what we call phosphorescence. Phosphorescence is a very rare characteristic that occurs in what's the one, Tug, to pay?
Well, it occurs in quite a few, but for a long period of time, Chris brought by that trilingua type calcite or trilingua calcite.
Trilingua calcite, which fluoresces a long time.
Yeah. You cook it up and then it continues to glow.
Yeah, so Chris, if you're out there, you would have found it interesting because I'd never seen this before and I couldn't explain it. And so I started calling diamond dealers and they couldn't explain it. And I finally called GIA and the person in the library there looked up some articles for me. And sure as heck, on very rare occasion, these will phosphoresce. I was concerned that if they all phosphoresce, some people are not going to like that. You come from the beach and go into a dark restaurant and your stone's fluorescing, you got to explain to everybody why your stone's fluorescing. For some people it's cool, but not for everybody. So it was interesting to learn that this was a rare characteristic. So she actually has a rare diamond. I'll approach her and ask her if she wants to keep it that way, because some people might not like that. But there are museums set up that just show that type of characteristic in gems, and they'll display fluorescent minerals and phosphorescent minerals. So interesting to find today. And while I was looking for that, I also saw that they've just produced the largest synthetic diamond, which was 16.41 carats in a modified square brilliant. So that's currently the largest white diamond. They've made yellows that are over 26 carat, I think. But a couple of interesting things I found out today. So cool. Anything else I need to explain? Probably not. Probably start looking at stones now. So our first stone is one we recently did a video on, and Michael did a short of the video. You can find the full video on YouTube. We did an opal cutting, which you're seeing here now. This is a pile of stones. I went through and cleaned them up and then finally picked out this stone to cut, which is that one right there. Let's see, can you...
You won't be able to see that.
Okay. All right, so
yeah, you could
talk about the cutting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is the preforming of it. And as you can see, once it gets wet, this material goes completely clear until it dries out again. And this is the final polish, which is cerium oxide. These were cut on diamond wheels, just like sandpaper. They go from probably 600 grit down to 8,000 is the finest grit that I use, and then you finally polish on the cerium oxide. So this is the opal. Can I get on screen now? Okay.
Yes, you can.
All right. So this is the opal. Just has really intense fire. Get in the right focal range. And pretty much all the colors of the rainbow. A lot of blues in it, which blue is usually the color you don't see the most. And the purples and indigos, you'll see every color of the rainbow in this gem. A little bit lighter color on the side, but really overall, it's just really a remarkable gem.
And if they want to see that whole video, just let them know that there's an hour-long version showing stuff like that, if there's any cutters out there.
Yeah, for you cutters out there, or somebody that doesn't know what to do with their life, there's an hour video out there on YouTube that you can watch the cutting of this gem. So really nice stone. So this one, the appraised price is $1,590. It weighs 7.60 carats. Price online $915, and 20 off that is $732. So, but that's about as intense a color as you see in any opals. Unless there's an Australian out there, we may get an argument about that. But yeah, this is really nice Ethiopian opal. So these are hydrophane. Understanding hydrophane just means that they absorb water. So if you leave them in water for probably 5 minutes, it'll go completely clear. The colors will de-intensify and nearly go away, but once it dries out, it'll come right back. The colors will be as they were before it got wet. So the big benefit of that is these don't craze. Crazing is what happens to a lot of material, including the stuff we mined in Nevada and some material from Australia. Is known to craze, and that's usually when they dry out the moisture that's in them, which most opal have from 3 to 30% moisture content. I'm not sure about that high end. That seems pretty high, but let's say 3 to 15%, whatever it is. As they dry out, it'll crack, just like the soil cracks when you see a clay soil. And as it dries out, you get cracks throughout it, and that's what happens to opals from particular sources. There are sources in Australia that just almost never craze, but there are other sources that always craze. You can't help but having them craze, and some of the material from Ethiopia has that same issue. We have some that are packed in water. Michael has some crystals on Mineral Mike for sale that you have to keep in water. They're beautiful color. He's got some pieces right now that the colors are just unbelievable. I've never seen colors like these have. But unfortunately, you can't cut them. They're only for display, but they're pretty extraordinary. They have colors like this opal has.
I know there's a lot of new people watching. Now, these stones aren't just put in a case and look at them. We can custom create any jewelry around it as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So Chris is my nephew, and he does the designing. So you can either give us an idea through a picture that you've seen somewhere, or that you want to reproduce, or just give us a basic idea of what you would like, and he'll do a design and give you a render of that design with the opal in it, and you can decide whether you like it. We price it for you. If you like the whole package, we'll make it up for you. Probably, typical time is 3 to 6, 7 weeks. I think most things we can produce within a month, but sometimes it runs longer. Custom does take time, and but this make a great piece. Just a beautiful pendant, or very nice ring. You have to be a little more careful with opal in a ring, but we do make rings. So great piece. All right, next up is another opal, but this time it's faceted. Faceted opals, unique, different from what you expect from opal. But for us, very saleable. I don't know if it's because they're different, but I've kind of start looking at every piece of rough I've got and wondering whether faceting is the way to go with it, because I know how saleable it is. Usually the material will be a little more transparent, even though I've faceted stuff that's opaque, and it still just has that unique look with the facets that seems to interest people. But the benefit of faceted and translucent is the orange flashes you see throughout the back of this stone are caused by the faceting. So that's not play of color, that is reflected color. It's kind of reflecting some of the body color, even though it doesn't look orange. You know, most of this material has a little tendency towards orange. So you get all those flashes, you know, just a little added bonus to an opal. You play a color, but you still have some brilliance. So this one weighs 8.24 carat. 825 is the sale price on it. 1240 is the normal price. And that stone, 825 times point. So about $619, which it is one of the issues with faceting is it takes a lot more time. You know, this stone is a 4 to 5 hour stone, whereas cabbing is a 1 hour, 1.5 hour job. So a lot more labor involved in this in this production of this type of opal.
Someone was asking, I know, talking about being a faceted. Have you ever done any cushion cut cabs?
Cushion cut cabs, yes. I don't remember one, but I cut a lot of cushions, so sure. You know, this is almost a cushion, just got an extra flat on it. You know, just you cut for the best yield you can get out of it, and whether it's asymmetrical or symmetrical like this, you use what's there. So, you know, but I'm sure the amount of them I've faceted, I've had cushion cuts. That's, to me, this is kind of mesmerizing just looking at the stone.
Show them how big it is on your shirt.
On my, oh, we're going to do this, huh? Whoop. So it's a good size. It'd make a decent size pendant. And of course, a nice big ring. Because as an 8 carat, this material has a very low density. So it's a bigger appearing stone. If this were a garnet, it'd be a 15 carat. So. And up next, this is a tourmaline, and one of my favorite colors in all gems, these peach-colored stones. If you've watched, you know I have a fondness for them. You know, and they come in zircons and garnets, and now in tourmalines. That's, whoop. Well, so this material coming out of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's been coming out for 7, 8 years, maybe. Lose track. You know, and this is a color I look for all the time. I have more to cut. You know, it's a color you just don't see from other sources, and this source has produced a fairly good quantity of it. And it's the color that I find the best that comes out of there. You know, the pinks are nice. Some of the greens are real nice. But a lot of them are a little pale for me. But this color is just it's a worthy color to own for sure. You know, it looks great in rose gold, yellow gold, white gold, of course. But kind of a unique cut. This one I did not cut. This is not done by me. I did recut it a little bit. had a really, really small table on it. And I opened it up, and it opened the brilliance up significantly. So this is a stone that weighs 8.76 carat, which you don't see a lot of material that's cuts much bigger than this. There's this stone, the appraised price on it, $5,690. $2,990 is our price online. And with the 15 off, well, that was right. I need an assistant. About $2,550 is where the stone is at. So a really nice stone, make a great ring. That's probably what I'd recommend for it. It's a good enough size for a pendant, but, just a pleasure to watch the action of the brilliance on this stone. It's a very clean stone, really nothing in it. VS1 clarity. And just a good saturated color. That's a problem with a lot of the material from this source is they're very light. And it probably is the reason a lot of it's not heated, because so many tourmalines from other sources require heat treatment to get them light enough to show brilliance. They usually come out of the ground way too dark, and you have to heat them to lighten them up. Whereas this material, as far as I know, most everything I've bought from the Democratic Republic of Congo, or Congo, is natural unheated color. So. Try and show you some of the rough.
You got white piece of paper?
That would help. I don't know if that's going to be in focal range. Not quite. So that's what the rough material looks like. Future show stones.
So what colors don't you see coming out of Congo?
What colors don't you see?
Is there any blues coming out of there?
No, I don't. No,
No.
I haven't seen blues. There's got to be, though.
What about that lagoon terminal? Wasn't that from Congo?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was. Yeah, although you get that color from there. That, I think blue green. I don't know. Anybody know out there? I haven't seen much in blues
Yeah, it does all
and
seem to be pretty light.
yeah. We had those really nice green ones that were kind of peridot depth of color.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they do. You get some fine colors in all the colors, but yeah, I can't say I've seen indicolites from there. Yeah, could be wrong. They're just not getting here. Yeah, I just haven't seen indicolite. So, and up next is a big boy.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
this is almost 55 carats, and it is. I won't say it's the finest, because I've probably said that before, but there is none better. And you don't get that little piece of dust that's on the picture there. As long as I've photographed, I still have issues getting them 100% clean. But this is 100% clean stone. This is a very clean stone, and the color is to die for. I don't. Oh, yeah, I did. Yep. I changed it.
That is like that stone the old woman threw in the water from the Titanic.
Oh yeah. No, that we have that later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have another one.
Two in the water.
I knew
So,
she was
you know,
lying.
this stone, it has just a remarkable blue color with quite a bit of purple. I don't know what's the grade it is. We don't have the grade on there. But it really remarkable blue, and the amount of red flash in it is extraordinary. So it really has everything. You know, it's just really well cut stone. I mean, just a beautiful polish. You know, the cutting is, you know, I did not cut this one also, but the cutting is remarkable. The brilliance is top notch. And the color is second to none. And what a bargain. It's only a normal price, $68,680. Our regular price of $39,800. So about just under $34,000. Which is like $615 a carat for one of the biggest, finest tanzanites on the planet.
That is a nice gem.
That is quite the gem. I'm excited to have it because getting big stones right now is tough. You know, there's just not many 50 caraters out there. I've just not seen, you know, you see things up to 20, 25 carat, but above that, just not like it used to be, you know. And
Clean too.
yeah, this is completely clean. You know, no dead spots. You know, the brilliance just remarkable. And the color, it's just, this camera cannot show you the beauty of this stone. You know, it is just such a special color, and particularly the blue. I mean, this shows how much blue it has, but, you know, in person, it's just such a beautiful blue. You know, I think the pictures I took in the studio are probably more accurate, but, you know, it's pretty in any light, any camera. Yeah. That's a little more what the blue truly is. So a very special stone, you know, thrilled to own it. I'll miss it when it's gone, but I got bills to pay.
How's it doing in Candace?
Do we have a, give me a second. No, I don't know if we can't show it.
Right now.
Yeah, just really strong purple. You know, so it's one of those color changers, which is another special characteristic. You know, the ones I find that are finest, you know, some people say, oh, I want it all blue. I don't want it all blue. I want that color change. I want a dramatic change from violet to blue, which this stone has. I mean, when you get it in incandescent, it is mostly violet. You know, still has the blue, but, you know, so it really is a color changing stone. If it was any other gem, we'd call it a color change. You know, we call it generally a color shift in Tanzanite, but this is enough percentage of change that we could call it a color change. So special, very special gem. Yeah.
Steve, you want to flip that light around a little bit behind you?
Oh, sorry. Okay, and our next stone is, this is the Titanic, isn't it? It was a heart shape, wasn't it?
I don't know, man. It's been so long since I watched that movie.
Come on, somebody out there. Was it a heart shape on the Titanic? I think it was.
Carrie's watching. She should know. She loves that movie.
Is she? It was? Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It may have been a little bigger than this. Maybe not. No, probably, I don't know what they say, 50 carat? I don't know. We want some specifics on the Titanic stone, you know, but it sure looked like this stone.
Yeah, Rose. That lady's name is Rose.
So another special stone, just under 25 carats. This one, appraised price of $30,120. Price online is $16,730. which with the coupon code BOOM, it's 14,220. Another stone, beautifully cut, great brilliance, and just a remarkable color.
Yeah, that one, as the camera turned, it was just...
And much like the bigger stone, as far as its color change, just an extraordinary blue to a violet and blue, But as you can see in the videos, it's just got excellent brilliance and just a really nice shape. You find heart shapes don't always have the best shape. Particularly in the past, they used to take pear shapes, put a notch in them, and call it a heart shape, which just doesn't work. But this is really, really a nice shape. Nice lobes, nice deep cut in the cleft of the stone. But that's a beauty in a heart shape. Sometimes I avoid heart shapes because it's a limiting factor. Not everybody likes heart shapes, but fortunately there's enough people out there that are so into heart shapes that it is often a saleable stone. And finding one this big in a heart shape, there won't be two of them out there right now. That's a real beauty. And up next, from Mineral Mike, is a piece of opal rough. This is almost 42 karat. And what a remarkable piece, just because there's almost such a small amount of matrix in it.
Oh, for the cutters.
Yeah. Or
Good specimen.
I often threaten to not cut them and just mount them up like they are, because that's got a beautiful face on it. Just a natural piece of opal beauty. But for a cutter, you can see the material goes all the way through. This is the only area over here that, there's any risk of it going deep, because you never know in this material. But you got, it's going to be such a high yield. With luck, it's 25 karat, but it's definitely 15 to 20 karat. And just the color you see, that's what you're going to get. So its potential is a $2,000 to $3,000 gem. Ooh, $4.99.
Yeah. $4.99. It's bargain.
Where's my phone? So $4.99.
We'll be putting this one on my way.
$4.25 with the coupon code BOOM.
I
Yeah.
like how you looked at me.
Well, you can see the color just goes all the way through it. Special piece. And you used to have more on Mineral Mike.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I've got even more than what I have on there right now. I haven't even gotten to... I probably got 20 more pieces to
Yeah.
put online.
Yeah, we bought quite a bit this last year in Tucson. Our supplier came and he just had nice cut and rough, and pretty much cleared him out of anything good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So
well.
yeah.
You still there's still some nice pieces.
Yeah, I spent twice as much on opal as I wanted to. I had a budget, and that went away. But that when you see great stuff, you just buy it, and that's a great opal. So
Hydrophane material as well.
hydrophane, yeah. And our next stone is Montana sapphire, which is what we're going for. And this time we will try and mine Rock Creek also. We mined Eldorado Bar last year. But much of what I've been cutting has been coming from Rock Creek. Although I still have a lot of Eldorado Bar to cut from our trip. Oop. So this camera showing this a little more intense than blue than what it is. This setting on this camera does that. So the pictures online are more accurate. But still, it's a real pretty blue color. Just kind of a sky blue. Cut this into so this is a mixed cut. It's got a brilliant pavilion, step cut crown. And I think it's pretty clear. VS2 clarity, so there's some small thing in it. I don't think eye visible, but if you look at the video, a video tells more than what your eye is going to see. But pretty stone, carat and a half, 152. Rock Creek most Rock Creek stones are heated. Not all of them, but most are, because they do accept heat treatment, whereas a lot of the Eldorado Bar material doesn't have the silk that's necessary to heat well. Silk is fine rutile needles that are in the stone that once they're heated, they dissolve and kind of infuse into the sapphire, and it also gives color. That is the coloring agent. Titanium is the coloring agent that gives us the blue color in these sapphires. So this one's heated from Rock Creek. Praise price $18.70, $12.20, and with 15 off, it's $1,037. So for a nice sapphire, it's I don't know what that is, 700 a carat or something like that. Yeah. So hopefully we'll find a lot more of this. Yeah. Let's get rid of that picture. That's inaccurate, but.
Just as you said that, the battery fell.
Oh, the camera battery went out.
I can take care of that.
Okay.
You want to continue to the next one?
Yep. Okay. I was going to show a little rough, but that's okay. You can come back to it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to chat about something. Okay, let's chat about the next stone.
Which is a hidden gem.
Which is a hidden gem. So it's 25 off with the coupon code RARE25. So this one I just finished. This is a Morganite. I've had several Morganites from this source. And as far as I know, this source only produced once. That's all I've ever seen it. We bought material, how many years ago has that been now? 4 years. The same supplier had one piece tucked away. He says, oh, I have this. And I looked at it and go, that's the stuff that I already got, and I must have missed this one the last trip. And so I bought this, and, it's another really, really nice Morganite. And big, you do see Morganites large, but not from this source. And the importance of this source is it's not treated, whereas probably half or more of all the Morganite out there started out colorless and was treated to that color, was irradiated to give it its color. This material came out of the ground this color. You find material like that from Nigeria and Ethiopia, Brazil sometimes. Sometimes these colors, particularly pinks, supposedly this color will, if I heat it, it'll go to pink. I'm not going to try that, but and I think sunlight is a potential for turning them pink. I haven't done that test, but there's always the possibility that with sunlight this will turn a little pinker, and maybe all the way to pink. Pink typically has greater value But right now, peach is very important, and it's what more people are looking for in Morganite. So there's not a lot of treatment being done to these Morganites that are naturally peach color. But just note that it is a possibility that if you wore this in the sun for long periods of time, I don't know how long, but it could start to turn more pink. Don't know that to be a fact of this material because you can't find any information on it. You know, one supplier is the only person I've ever seen it from. I've never seen a cut stone from anybody with Ethiopian material. So I can't tell you the full nature of this stone. Just
Crazy. There can be just such small little pockets found. And,
yeah.
you know.
Well, they're known for emerald, which is, you know, these are related to emerald. You know, if this is green, it's emerald. If it's blue, it's aquamarine, and this is morganite. And they come from that same mining area. So it's producing beryl, and, you know, occasionally you get a pocket where the coloring, I'm not sure what color is this, manganese? I'm not sure. But the coloring agent changes within the material in the ground. In the case of emerald, it'll be chromium, and iron in the case of aquamarine. So just really, really nice morganite, all step cut. Yep. So step crown, step pavilion. And weighs 22 carat 73. Appraised price of $91.70. These do appraise high. I mean, I bought this right, and so it's about from appraised price about a third of what the appraised price is. So really well priced stone. Plus, it's another 25% off that. So $2,800 for the stone. So I don't know what that is, 130 a carat maybe. So morganite, a good characteristic of it is very hard. So putting it in a ring is no issue. You know, this aquamarine and even emerald, you know, people think emerald is a soft stone because it damages easily. But it's really the inclusions in the stone that cause the problems in emeralds. You know, a clean emerald is a very durable and hard stone. So it's morganite from Ethiopia. Morganite named after J.P. Morgan, the financier. He was buying a lot from, I've probably been through this story, but he was buying a lot from Tiffany and Company. Koons, who he was buying from, was the president of the company, and he was the gemologist anyway. And he had promised J.P. Morgan to name a stone after him. Kunzite came up, and Koons named it after himself, so he was kind of stuck looking for a gem to name after J.P. Morgan. Morganite came up, and so J.P. Morgan got his name on a stone.
I think you got the better one.
Yes, because kunzite, you know, the issue with kunzite is you wear that in sunlight, you don't get a pink stone, you get a colorless stone. And I have the stone to prove it. 2 days out at an art fair, and that's all it took to turn kunzite colorless. So if you have a kunzite, keep it out of the sun. So I'm sure it's cumulative. The more you wear it, the lighter it's going to get. So it's a nighttime stone. And up next there, Michael. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, with the hidden gems, I know there's probably a lot of new users here. When you go to MoreGems.com and you click on that banner at the top, it'll take you to the page with all the stones. If you're already there, you just have to refresh the page, and the hidden gem will show up. So,
good point.
Yes. So
if you can't find the hidden gem, refresh your page.
Yes, and now it's showing.
Pop up.
That's why it's hidden.
Because he doesn't put them up until till it goes live.
Exactly.
We don't want any early shoppers to get the stone before everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And
Good
with
point.
that, we had a question through. This person asked, how many millimeters in a carat, or is it based on the weight alone?
Yeah, those don't relate because specific gravity is, I mean, if you had two stones exactly the same size and shape, if one was an opal and one was a morganite, the opal would weigh 10 carat, the morganite would weigh 15 carat, even though they're exactly the same size. It's like the lead and feathers things, how much is a ton of feathers and how much is a ton of lead, that kind of thing. Anyway, and then there's cut. So you can't relate it to millimeter because a step cut like this one will be cut deeper than like a brilliant cut. So you'll have more weight in the pavilion of the stone in its actual depth. Certain cuts will weigh more for a given size. A 10 millimeter stone in a round can weigh 3 carat, or it can weigh 4.5 carat and still be the same millimeter. So millimeter and weight don't relate directly. So,
all right, thank you.
All right.
So that's sapphire rough?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the camera went out. I was going to show you what this material from, these are, whoop, lost one. Oh, well. There it is. Oh. They're ball shaped, so they roll well. So here's 3 of the 4. And these are actually pretty nice colors. A nice yellow. Some nice green with a little bit of blue, which is kind of what I'll be looking for this trip. Just not the pure greens. Need some blue in them. So those are real nice colors. So these are sapphire from Rock Creek. These will weigh 3-4 carats, so they're going to cut that carat and a half size. What else did I have? Guess I can go with that. I'm talking about an emerald. This is a piece for sometime in the future. I'm hoping there's a good stone in here. Emerald is just a nightmare to buy the rough, nightmare to cut, because in emerald you're looking for not completely clean. You're looking to cut a stone that looks cleanish. Because most emeralds not completely clean. Although right now I have a couple of great cut emeralds, and they'd be in the show, but emerald does not photograph at all. I cannot get an emerald to photograph. The colors just don't come out right for me. And any inclusions show so dramatically in the videos that we show you that emerald is just tough to show, period. But mainly the color. But I've bought some 2 carat emeralds just lately that they're to die for. Prices are, they're 10,000 plus, but really remarkable stones. There's quite a few stones that I don't put in the shows. Rubies are another one that I can't photograph. So emeralds and rubies you'll rarely see on these shows. So nice emerald. Hopefully you'll get a 2 carat out of there somewhere. One of these days, I'll get up the guts to cut it. Okay, yeah.
With that hidden gem, the Morganite. Lancey wanted to know the Morganite hardness, and is it easy to scratch or not?
No, it's a good hard stone. It's 7.5 to 7 3/4, somewhere in there. So it's harder than most of the gems you're going to see tonight. It's not as hard as the sapphires, but a very, very durable stone. You'll have a hard time scratching it. It's, of course, possible, particularly if you wear it next to other jewelry. But most of what you're going to run into is 7 hardness and lower. with what you'll see in nature. So theoretically, you can't scratch them, but we know that's not true. You can physically scratch them, but it's one of the tougher stones. So one of the things you can wear in a ring and have less worries about. So, okay.
One other question,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody watching,
Where's our question?
The
Sign.
question.
Yeah.
I think I just cut in now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you go on those spiels for
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Okay,
You
got
we
it.
just got to cut in.
Got it.
And if you have questions, everybody, you can log into Google or YouTube, and there's a lively chat session going on. So Sam wanted to know if you, because you are a gem cutter, do you enjoy cutting a nice quality rubellite?
Of course, yeah. Tourmalines, tourmaline is like, if I'm cutting a tourmaline, it's like a relief because it's just so easy to polish, So that and garnets, it's like, you cut the stone and then the second phase is polishing the stone. And a lot of stones, particularly tanzanite, that I do so much of, it just can be a nightmare to polish. I'm improving my cleanliness, which has helped some because you can't get any of the cutting, the swarf, the stuff that comes off the laps and what comes off the stones, that collects in this machine. It gets in here and gets all around the edges of it, and you touch things, you touch everything, and all you got to do is get one of those diamond crystals on your hand and transfer it to your polishing lap, and you just get all sorts of scratches. But tourmalines and garnets I find remarkably easy. So a good rubellite will be an easier stone, although rubellite, like emerald, always some inclusions in it, not always, but generally. They'll be included. So you're again dealing with trying to place inclusions. You can't see them as easily. A lot of times they have tubes, so you'll orient those perpendicular to the table. So if the table's here, they'll be totally vertical, and they become hard to see then. So knowing how to cut them is important. But a rubellite really no challenge other than the inclusions, which are the challenge. So I would choose a nice clean pink tourmaline or a peach colored tourmaline, but rubellite, I'd love to find more of it. It's just hard to find good rubellites. Yeah. All right. Got a lot of stones, so got to move on here. Okay, here's a natural tanzanite. These are one of the rarest of gems. Every stone that I cut and every stone cut everywhere comes out natural. Although many of the cutters, they heat first and then cut the stone. So they can see what breaks, and my mentality is the reverse. I cut out what's I think's going to break and then heat it. So I have the option to find some of these naturals that have a unique and beautiful color in the natural state. And on occasion, I'll keep them natural. Most of them I just heat because they don't have any of these, like you see in the picture here, blue colors in them. This particular stone, you get into right light, you get into a LED strip light, and they just go crazy because you see every color of the rainbow. Just really amazing what this stone can do in the best light. But even in just regular incandescent, the picture you see here is what you're going to get out of this stone. Yeah. So this is one of the keepers as far as a natural color, because it is absolutely one of the rarest gems on the planet. Tanzanite, not an extremely rare stone, although relative to other stones, it still has high rarity. And one day, in a not too distant future, its rarity will be excessive. It'll be high, whatever. But, a couple things worry me about happening is a big company comes in and takes over all the mining of Tanzanite. So that'll have a big effect on the price, and I'm not sure why that hasn't happened. Hopefully I'm not giving anybody ideas out there. Or if I am, I want to be your seller of all your material. If I had the money, if I won the lottery, I'd be over there owning as much of it as I could. My wife wouldn't care for that. Nancy, you'd love it. If you're watching. I'll question you later. This will be the question for, were you watching tonight, dear? But anyway, it is such a small source that controlling it is a minor sum. $100 million is all it would take. And in the world of everything, that is not a huge sum of money. I mean, it's a lot of money, but one person can win it in a lottery. I bought my tickets today, so if I get lucky,
big amount.
I have probably not enough to control Tanzanite, but I'd make an effort, and all the money I had, I'd put it back in it, because I think it's just such a great gem. And, and finding material like this natural material could be a gem on its own. You could give this a new name because it's a totally different looking gem than any tanzanite you've ever seen. There's no tanzanites that you see on the market that look like this. There's no gem in the world that looks like this other than tanzanite. There's nothing that comes close. So really a unique stone and high rarity and just a valuable stone that very few try to market.
What would you call it? Stephenite?
Stephenite. I'm not sure about that.
There's already
Morganite.
Yeah.
Morganite. Yeah.
Well, we're open for names, folks.
So is this considered diesel color?
Yeah, this is what is diesel. When you look at the rough, the name diesel comes from the way diesel fuel looks in a gas can. If you look, the gas can is lined with stainless, so it's reflective. And when you look at the material, it has that look. You see, diesel fuel looks this color, looks brownish with a blue tint to it is how it looks in a gas can. And that's where diesel came from. The name diesel is what the rough is called. Kind of brownish with some bluish purple. Yeah.
Just doesn't smell like it.
Just doesn't smell like it, yeah. Although the price of diesel is getting to be like the price of this, but... but a really great stone. There's something unique to own that nobody has. You'll get questions, what the heck is that? Because nobody will know what that is. Because almost nobody you've ever met or nobody in the world has seen this kind of stone. And it just amazes me that nobody's trying to cut them. But even, it doesn't amaze me because if you look at the percentage of what I cut to what I'll keep as natural, it's 1 in 100 stones. So, there's very few stones that are worthy, at least in my opinion. I say that and then I think about stones, one particular diaspore, which the average stone, I see no value in it, period. But there is some really, really top quality stones like this that, in diaspora that are really, really beautiful stones and have a deep enough color to show their beauty. And that's the same with this. There's just very few natural stones that I see the beauty in. They're just kind of brownish with a slight tint of blue, but, and sometimes I overlook looking for too much in the beauty of the stone that maybe those lighter stones are marketable, but I keep very few, but this one will always be natural till it sells, but if you ever buy a natural and you ever want it treated, these ones that are worth keeping natural are also the top colors when you heat them. You know, and that's the issue with keeping them natural. You know, this stone is going to be a killer stone. You know, there'll be few stones that are better when it's heated. You know, so it's often not difficult to decide whether heated if it's not just perfect. You just throw it in the oven, you're still going to get a great stone out of it. But you know, so that's my story. $4,800 is the sale price, and 15 off that is $4,080, which is $557 a carat for a stone that's the rarest stone on the planet. It's still cheaper than most beautiful colored tanzanites of this size. You know, it probably should be more expensive, but there's no market created, and I still make a decent profit at this price. So, yeah. You know, it could be marketed and for its rarity and maybe be 800 a carat or 1,000 a carat. Show me another one. So, but it's $557 for somebody out there. All right, up next is another tanzanite, kind of a unique color. This one weighs 2.46 carat. You know, it is mined with all the other tanzanites. Just on rare occasion, they come out fancy colors.
You want to explain what fancy color means?
Fancy color, like in sapphire. Now, I call it fancy tanzanite. Some people are opposed to that. They think it should be fancy zoisite. But then you look at sapphire, and you got blue sapphire, then you got fancy sapphires, which is all the other colors. So I don't think there's any argument that calling it fancy tanzanite to me is an appropriate term.
I think you should be calling it fancy corundum, Steve.
Fancy corundum. Yes. Yeah, that would be the relation. Do we call it fancy sapphire or fancy corundum? Here the case is we call it fancy tanzanite or fancy tanzanite. It has a ring to it, or fancy zoisite. So this is fancy tanzanite. Cut came out real nice. I'm happy with the cut. You know, you have to be careful with anything that comes to a point like this, because if it's a little darker, the point ends up dark. There's just no brilliance to it. But in lighter stones, you can cut the shape and the points will be brilliant. You know, and that's true with pear shapes. That's why you don't see too many pear-shaped tanzanites from me, because it's hard to keep that tip from going black. And any tanzanite I do own in a pear shape, it's only because I looked at it and bought it as a cut stone, and the tip was not too dark, because I won't touch them that are too dark. Marquise, same situation. You know, a dark marquise will have both tips, so it'll just be overly dark. So these fancy tanzanites are quite rare right now. You know, I was there in 2014, and there was a lot of material available. I thought I hit the mother lode, and turned out everybody was hitting the mother lode at that specific time. You know, it was Marilani mint garnets and were available, and the fancy tanzanites, and now both of those are in very, very short supply. So this stone, 2.46 carat, 860 is our regular, our sale price online. Normal price of $1,480. And with the 15 off, it's $731, which is way too cheap. $300 a carat for this stone. And it probably, relative to what the market is, it probably is pretty cheap. Yeah, especially for as well as it's cut. Gotta pat myself on the back occasionally. It came out very nice. I do have a piece of rough here somewhere. There it is. So this is what the rough looks like when you get it. I've ground on it a little bit, but this is probably a similar color to what that stone is. And in fancies, this is probably the color you'll see more than any other color. Like pinks are exceedingly rare. The greens will be the most common. Then the yellows and probably the pinks. But pinks will be 1,000 a carat. In hard times, 1,500, 2,000 a carat. So, fancy Tanzanite.
You're so fancy, Steve.
Thank you, Michael. All right, up next. Okay, this is a beauty. So this is umbellite garnet. What makes it umbellite? It's a rhodolite that's lighter. This is a color that really only in the last 10 years has been available. The picture online more accurate for the color. I mean, this is, it's not hot pink, it's fuchsia is what this color would be. Yeah, we got a sale.
Yeah, don't go too deep into this one.
Well, it is, yeah, okay. I understand.
Yeah, thank you,
but it
Lancey.
is, yeah. It's closer to the picture than it is what you're seeing here. So, and I've got a friend that just came back from Tanzania, and he said garnets just weren't available. So, because I was hoping he got lucky, but apparently there just wasn't garnet material available in pretty much any color. Says he got a little bit, but not much. So.
Yeah, it's a nice stone.
Yeah, it's a great stone. Yeah. And it's a good size. A 6 carat in a garnet is a pretty good size stone. So I don't have to talk about that anymore. Huh? It's a goner. I do have more material to cut. I'm not sure it'll come out exactly like this, but I've got a piece here that anybody else that's interested, keep us in mind, because where'd that piece of rough go? Oh, there it is. So this should hit somewhere similar to that piece. Ooh. Get it in the picture there. Hard to see it without lighting it. Get it in the picture.
A little out of focus, but
Yeah. But you can start to see what the color is. So that'll cut similar, and I think I have a couple more pieces. Yeah, I got pretty lucky last buying with garnets. All right.
yeah, thank you.
Put that one aside. Thank you.
Before we move on, that's a fancy Tanzanite.
Uh-huh.
What would you suggest for setting it?
Well, I mean, a ring you can set it east to west would be interesting. Accent the long. It's yeah. Is it ring or pendant?
I mean,
pendant, you set it like it is and maybe put a row of diamonds around it. Yeah, we asked Chris that, but there's a lot of potential. I mean, it's a big enough stone that it'll work for either pendant or ring. I say ring, you can set it either way, but I mean, I look at it that going across the finger might be interesting. But if it's still around and you want to ask that question of our designer, maybe we can give more of an idea what to do with it. Yeah. It's a little easier for him to just come up with stuff than me as a designer for an unusual shape. But as long as we know what you want, ring or pendant, is the place to start, and we can try and come up with some ideas for it. So up next, 5-carat oval. This is a stone that was sitting on my desk for 2 years at least. I started cutting it and had just a big inclusion right in the middle of it, and I finally decided to see what I could do with it. And I came up with this cut because with that inclusion, it became very shallow. So this is a cut that doesn't have a lot of crown, but it still worked. I was afraid when I got it off the dop that it just wasn't going to have life, or
This one you were chasing?
Yeah.
That crack?
Yes. And there's probably still a teeny bit of it you can see there, but when you look at it on your hand, you can't see it. I got it right on the facet, which is how you help mask it, and it's small enough that it's not visual to the naked eye. I say that, and you put a bright enough light on it, maybe you could find it, but it's the reason for the SI1 clarity on this stone. But really a unique cut. I'm proud of what I did with this, particularly as long as it was sitting on a dop on my desk, just literally 2 years. Because I really didn't think there was any hope for it. I was thinking, well, it's going to be a 2-carat stone, or.
I'm going to take that white paper away.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's try that.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it really has a nice sparkle. The flat crown, you get a little less rotation and it starts to show through. But face on just has a beautiful brilliance, and I think the cut just worked really well. It's tough to get the dust off these things. There we go. So nice stone, and it's priced right for what it is. It's a 5-carat, $21.60 for the stone. So $18.36. So it's like $370 a carat for a big stone. Nice color. And pretty dramatic color change again from blue to purple. Yeah. So you get a big face. I mean, this looks like a 7-8 carat stone, just because you don't have a lot of crown material there. At a bargain price. and it's anytime you get some inclusion in these, I price them very low price-wise, even though compared to other gems, what's in a tanzanite like this is next to nothing for many of the tourmalines, pink tourmalines. Just so many of them. The Paraíba tourmalines, you're lucky to find them that are as clean as emeralds, and they're still thousands per carat. So we had another sale.
Yep, sold your fancy yellow tanzanite.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, to Nancy. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy. And if you're the one interested in mountings, just let us know and we'll see what we can work up. It's usually a collaboration between you and our designer, or you and Alice is very helpful in coming up with things. So between Alice and Chris, which is Christopher Michael Designs, we can find a setting for you. And we can quote you on it. And, if you decide to go somewhere else, not a problem.
She's actually
glad to
local.
sell you. Oh, is she? Oh,
She's
well,
gonna
good.
come in and pick it up.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, come on in and we can discuss it. And so thank you much.
And we had, a gentleman was talking about he's new to Lapidary.
Uh-huh.
I know you kind of talk about, I think you have one of your machines in the back behind you. Could you give them a little idea of, like, if someone's getting into cutting, what machine you recommend and everything?
Well, this is the Ultratech V5, which is the machine I recommend. A lot of people want to get into the hobby and get into it very reasonable. A lot of people call me and want to know, what can I get for $500 to $1,000? And all I can say is you get trouble. A machine like this, which you're looking at, my machine is now probably over $5,000. There's a lesser expensive version of it that has everything, really almost everything that this has, and it's $4,000. So that's my recommendation. I've been through a lot of machines and been through used machines, and you're just asking for giving up on a hobby because the machine is really where you need to put the money into. Even as a new cutter, if you try on a cheap machine or a used machine, the machine is going to give you the troubles that you think are your troubles, but when it's actually the machine. And I've been through that more than one time. My first machines were just inaccurate, not built correctly, not adjusted correctly. I had no idea, and that's what I learned on. I mean, I learned a lot of good lessons from it, but my greatest lesson is to buy a machine that works well and won't be what hinders you in learning how to do the trade. You buy a good machine, you're going to cut a great stone. Your first stone can be a great stone. You'll probably lose a lot of the rough material in getting to that great stone, but you can produce a great stone first time on a machine like this, and with a little help. And we give a lot of help online on YouTube. We've got a lot of videos available for new cutters, and that'll just walk you through what you need to have and what you need to do. So check us out on MoreGems on YouTube, and it'll give you that help. And if you do decide to order a machine, just let me know or let them know that you talked to me, and the price will be the same, but I'll get a little bit out of it too. So always appreciate that.
Any other questions, Jeffrey?
Nope.
Okay, next stone is an amethyst. This is one of the new Bahia, Brazil amethysts. I'm very happy with them. I've had really good success selling them. This is a bigger stone. I hate cutting them. This is just the worst stuff to cut. And I have, as I've told you, I have kilos of the material, and it just, to sit down and cut one. This is another one that sat around for about 2 months. Got into it and difficulties polishing, and again, my new outlook on cleanliness has helped dramatically, and I finally got through this stone with not too much effort, and so it just came out really nice. It's a 25.77 carat modified emerald cut. I've done some variations of the standard emerald cut on this stone just to give it a little more brilliance. Emerald cuts typically are not lively, but this with a few extra facets on it has produced a little more brilliance in an emerald cut style. This new material out of Bahia, Brazil is the finest that's available currently. Very near to the quality that came out of Rwanda, in 2016, and has been available in a good quantity to me. Me and Mike bought 3 kilos of it in Vegas, and we're just thrilled to have it. But Tucson, yeah. But sitting down to cut it is another story. I'll always cut at least one for the shows, but if I had the time, there's a lot of money to be made on the material I have. It's just kind of a nightmare to polish, which is true for pretty much everybody I know that are cutters. Amethyst is, all the quartzes are just more difficult to deal with. Give me a garnet and a tourmaline, I'll be happy. But a lot of money to be made in amethyst. So this stone, $1,160. Amethyst, one of the lesser expensive gems you're going to buy per carat wise. Where are we at there? Get my lights back in here. All right.
I think you got a cord in front of the camera now.
I got a cord in front. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway. Some days I'd like to do without this camera, but we all want to see it live, I guess.
Sure it's real. You actually have that stone. All right, I would show them the size of it on the. It is a pretty big stone, huh?
Whoop. Yeah. Get it straight there. There you go. So it'd make a great pendant. So 25.77 carats. 1160 is our sale price, appraised price of $25.70. So $986 with the coupon code BOOM.
It's a stone for that price.
Yeah. Yeah, nice size stone. Yeah. Big ring, but not too big. Nice for a pendant. And I think it's
if it's possible for you to share the fasting diagram for that modified emerald cut.
Probably not. Not that I wouldn't share, but most of these I just sit down and start cutting, and I usually have a scrap of paper that has some notes on it, which wouldn't mean much to anybody because sometimes they don't mean much to me. I go, what the hell was that? I have to search for, and I think the only thing I did on this particular one is basically it's a step cut pavilion. So it's just a basic emerald cut on the pavilion. And on the crown, I put one step in, and then these steps are 1 to either side. So if you were on the 96 index here, this would be 94 and 1. And then when I go to the next one to get these right, I think I had to go 2. So it's 94 and 2, you know. And did I split the ends? And I didn't split the ends. So that's the only modification there is a split facet there rather than that step being the same all 3 steps. So only a slight modification that gets you a little different brilliance is all it's doing. You know, and sometimes a standard emerald cut is the most beautiful because it really accents color the best. You know, but sometimes a little variety is a good thing, and in those steps, which sometimes I'll do that reversed where the pavilion is broken down, and I'm not sure which way works better. The pavilion may get you more brilliance than this style, but yeah, both of them just change the cut up a little bit, and you know, you're always looking for something better.
Because you don't use GemCat or anything.
No, I don't use GemCat. I use SteveCat. Yeah. Which hopefully SteveCat keeps working for a long time because I got a lot of rough to cut, and I have more coming tomorrow. So, sorry, dear. I hope you aren't watching. Okay, next stone. Green tourmaline. This is cut in an opposed bar, which the opposed bar has become a real popular cut. Some are calling it a pixel cut just because of what it does, making small little reflective pixels. But I know it as an opposed bar. You know, it's not a new cut. Some people think it's a new cut that's been developed, but been around for all the time I've been in business. Yeah. It does interesting things, and some stones, particularly dark tourmalines. You know, I just recut one that was a little bit dark, and it tends to just lighten and brighten them up a little bit. Where's the focal? So this kind of goes green to blue-green. You know, and a little bit of blue and a green is always a positive. You know, much better. You know, the more blue you get, the more valuable these stones get. All the way up to straight blue indicolites being the more valued of the blues and greens. So good stone for a ring because you can sit there and just watch those pixels run across. And opposed bar just means that, you know, on this side, there's bars cut this direction. And on the crown, they're opposing, or 90 degrees difference. If I can show you the facets. Yeah.
Perpendicular to the...
There you go. So those are, no, they're not perpendicular, they're opposing. They're 90 degrees, because perpendicular would be into it. Yeah.
Huh?
Perpendicular would be direction crown to cupid.
Oh, would it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So these are opposed, or we call it a perpendicular, or I don't know what we call it.
I don't either. Too many axes.
Too many axes. So a really pretty stone. This comes from Nigeria, which fortunately this one, I did have an issue with this one. The end came off it.
Oh, yeah.
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 These Nigerian tourmalines, they really suck.
It looks cool.
But for the cutter, not for you. You know, because once they're cut, they're no problem. But for a cutter, they just break. You know, they literally have stress zones that just, once you relieve the stress, they just fall apart. And the whole end of this stone should have been a 7 carat. Somewhere I should have had it for the show. I have the end of this stone. But again, once they're cut, there are no issues. I've never had an issue, but there have just been sources. Zambia for a while was the same type of material. And we had one in a previous show that somebody bought that I said, for me, it was a loser. You know, I made no money on the stone because it was half the size it was supposed to be. It just cracked again. You know, but you'll have no issues after the cutting process is over. They're just not an issue. But cutters beware, Nigerian material, and it's not all Nigerian material. It's just some of the new stuff that's out right now. I've just seen to be an issue. And whether it's from one mine, I'm not sure. But, you know, just know you could have issues and, you know, you're going to lose some material when you do. But this weighs 4.80 carats. Appraised value of $2,160. With the 15% off using the coupon code BOOM, it's $884. So about $185 a carat. Really, really nice color for the money. You know, that little bit of blue is really, really a highlight for this stone.
Yeah, perfect size for a ring too.
Yeah, it'll make a great ring. You know, these long cuts always look good. Michael's fiance has a bicolor tourmaline, and it's only a carat stone, and really looks remarkable. I mean, it just amazing how they look. You don't have to do much to them for them to look good and look unique. You know, the stone's unique enough that whatever you do, you know, if you do it plain or just run a little row of diamonds down the side, and it just is a great look.
Put it on those masculine fingers of yours.
Sure. If I can get behind it. Oh, wow, that's going to be hard to see. And let's try it this way. And there's cross finger. Whoops. Oh, yeah. I can fix it. That's a good thing about tourmaline. Tourmaline is generally a really durable stone also. Little greater in hardness than most of the other stones. Whoop, a little higher. I'm like, let's see. I need some tools to help me get this right. So that's the best I can do.
Good job, Steve. Everybody give me a hand.
Tourmaline from Nigeria. Cool piece. Here's a piece of rock. This one is actually from Congo. Looks dark there, but really nice color. Just I'd have cut it by now, but it's hard to figure out how to cut this one because this direction of the crystal is not a good color. So you want to do everything you can to keep that out, which means you cut it showing this part of the stone because it's a beautiful color here. And anything you do working with this end of the stone is going to bring in a color less desirable. So figuring out how to cut this stone has been my issue. But we'll see it soon, I'm sure. Because it has the potential to be a really beautiful stone. I'm a procrastinator with difficult jobs, like this emerald and that tourmaline and numerous kilos of amethyst. Yep. Thanks, Mike. Okay, what's next? Tourmaline. This one's another Nigerian stone. I don't think I had a problem with this one. I don't remember cussing at it, so. Little different color. I'm not sure. You see Garnet's this color.
Fix that focal ring. Oh,
There you go. But it's round Portuguese, and Portuguese is the easiest stone to sell for us. I don't think can't remember ever having a Portuguese stone last very long. Just has a unique brilliance to it that pleases everybody. Yeah. One of these days I'll find some topaz rough to cut. Blue topaz, even though I'm always been a little negative on blue topaz because of the treatments, every time I cut one, it sells so quick. And if I could cut a round Portuguese, it'd be just remarkable. But the rough is really not well shaped for that. But pretty stone. This 3-carat Portuguese round Tourmaline, again from Nigeria, high clarity, VS1 clarity, $675. So $573 is the price of this stone. I don't think. I did have the normal price. So the regular price on it, $1,050 is the appraised price. Yeah. Well, I do too. And
My favorite. Yep.
Yeah, and although it's tedious because it's 100. Well, I'm not sure if this is a full Portuguese. I think this one's shorter row, so it's about 150 facets. Yeah, it'd be 150 plus the girdle facets, which they don't count, but because not everybody puts girdle facets in, so you get an extra 16 facets. So this is 161 facets, even though I cut 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, yeah, we do love it, and I like cutting them because they're an easy cut to do. It's just polishing that many facets gets pretty old. You end up having to go through those facets 3 times. So you got 500, and I don't know how many that is, but it's a large amount of times that you're cutting each one of those facets, and kind of tedious, but the reward is in the end for sure.
Cut uses a different pavilion angle than a brilliant round.
Well, yeah, because you have so many. But the main, the culet facet, which is the same. For a standard round brilliant or for this, they're both 41 degrees in the case of this Tourmaline. But you've got 5 rows of facets on the bottom of this. So you have, instead of 2 rows, 1, 2, 2 to 3, depending on the round I do. So, so the angles vary, in both those styles. But the culet angle, which is the bottom point of the stone, that angle, that facet is the same in just about anything you cut at 41 degrees. That's what determines whether you're going to have a window or not, what you cut, the angle you cut that at. A lot of times you'll see that you can see through a stone, and that just means that on a Tourmaline, they probably cut that bottom culet at less than 35 degrees, which critical angle is probably 37, 38 degrees. So as soon as you cut below critical angle, the light is going to bleed through the stone. That's what I've been told. So
I believe you.
I wouldn't lie to you. Next stones. Another opalite. Yeah. This is a interesting round. It just scintillates. It partly because of the really small center table, and all the crown facets are of similar size, so it just produces a really unique brilliance, unlike what you would see in a standard round. You know, this basically has a standard round pavilion, the bottom portion of the stone, and then this step-cut crown, which I'm sure this light's gonna make this browner. Yeah. But it just really has remarkable brilliance. You know, any way you tilt this stone, it just is so sparkly. That's better. And if I were going to call the color, it's somewhere between the two of these. You know, not quite as pink as pictured online, but not as brown as this. You know, it's much closer to what you see online. Really beautiful stone, though. So that's pretty much a standard round brilliant pavilion, although I use 16 culet facets instead of 8, which is in most round diamonds. So that's another reason that this just has so much scintillation. So this stone comes from Tanzania, as almost all the garnets I have. Measures almost 10 millimeters, weighs 4.35 carat. You know, so this is a stone you get full size. This is a 5 carat. You can't get a bigger look in a garnet than this cut gives you. You know, a 10 millimeter, which is nice size for round, for a ring or pendant. Praise price on this, $1,740. Our online price, $990. And it's $841 with the 15% off. You know, for great garnets, this is about as inexpensive as you're seeing them these days. Garnet has increased in price probably as much or more than any gem we deal with. At least in the last 5 years, you know, garnet has become so important in the business, it's just difficult to find them. Cutters all want it. It's another easy stone to polish, you know, which for a new cutter, I would recommend cutting a garnet. You know, it's going to give you the least problems. But you can, you know, things to keep in mind, what you see in the rough will cut darker. So when you buy a piece of rough, just assume that the stone's going to cut darker than it looks in the rough. And watch out for silk, which is real fine needles within the stone, which will mute the brilliance of it significantly. But that's a real beauty. 4.35 carat. And really just a great, great color. That's a color that before this new material come out of Umba, Umbalite is named after the Umba Valley in Tanzania, which is where this color originally came from. We've also seen it from Mahenge. But again, we've talked about, you call this Mahenge and we double the price. Yeah, it's just the nature of sources like Burmese ruby or, you know, Mahenge produced such a wide variety of colors we'd never seen before. Mahenge became a magic name in stones. So, you know, it shouldn't be that way, but it's just the nature of the business. You know, the name of a source can have a great effect on the price of a gem. This is not Mahenge, though. Out again. And our next stone up is another Ethiopian opal. You know, if you want to buy the first one and you want a matching pendant or ring, this would be it. Because the colors on these, the body color is remarkably similar. Oh, we had a sale. All right.
Yes, it was There were actually two people looking at this stone, and somebody picked it up first. So the garnet that you just showed.
Oh, cool.
Sold.
Yeah. Well, those are popular tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they should be. They're such an extraordinary color. As I've said many times, garnet has been my favorite stone of all for many, many years. The Malaya garnet being probably most important to me personally, but all the colors of garnet. It was the first gem I ever cut, and talking about cutting too dark, it was the first mistake I ever made, because the stone I bought, although hold it up to the light, it was beautiful color. Cut it, it was black, but but it didn't stop me from keeping in the garnets, because I really think they're just an extraordinary gem, and the whole industry is kind of backing me up on that these days, because we all want garnets because they have remarkable brilliance. They have high rarity. They're just everything about them. I mean, they can look like a diamond. I've said this story before, but I had a good customer that I sold him a Malaya garnet, and he would show all the diamond dealers and tell them it was a diamond. And they'd just go nuts and go, oh, how much was that? Because a diamond that color would be in, even at the time would have been 20,000 a carat, or, these days it'd be $500,000. But, just how garnets can look so much like a diamond because of that huge high refractive index and producing just a remarkable brilliance. And this stone that was just purchased has that kind of brilliance. Thank you.
Thanks.
So back to something more important at the moment, something I can sell here. Ethiopian opal. So this has a really similar color range to the first one we showed, the one that we did the video on. Where's the... But just pretty remarkable for an opal. The amount of color, the distribution, even distribution of color. That's what you see in Ethiopian often is, it's not just a little bit of green here and there. It's all over the stone. A little bit of red here and there. It's all over. Blues. I mean, you see the indigos and the violets. There's not too many sources of opals that'll give you such a wide variety of color. You see it in the black opals, which are huge money. I mean, a black opal from Australia, this kind of size can be 10,000 a carat. This is not a black opal, but it has a darker base, but nowhere even semi-black. But just kind of a unique stone, and kind of amazing that all the way through the stone, you get color throughout the whole piece. Get that. So even on the back of it, just a really extraordinary color. And many times a cut of stone and you don't know which side should be up, the back side or the front of it. In this case, it's not difficult. But that's pretty incredible color. So this weighs 14.70 carats. So it's going to end up with 15 off. It's going to end up about $85 a carat. So stone price $1,258. So many of these Ethiopians, they're just red and green. That's all you get. But, this stone, and like I say, it's remarkable, the even distribution. This one particularly, I mean, the blues are just evenly distributed. A color you rarely see in those violets. I mean, all throughout the stone. It's like somebody made an effort to make sure they were placed evenly throughout. Pretty extraordinary opal. Make a wonderful pendant. See if I can get this right. Yep. Yeah. Big size. Pretty special. Not a dead spot on the stone. That just blows me away that you can get such an even coloration in anything. Wow. Okay. And did I mention that, one of the characteristics, other than it being hydrophane, and you have to have some caution with hydrophane, but they have been considered to be the toughest of all the opals. And they've done that with drop tests where they dropped them from 3 or 4 feet onto concrete, and from different sources. And the only one that held up was the Ethiopian opal. Not that I recommend trying that, because I dropped one once, a foot on a glass case, and chipped it. But generally they're much more durable than any of the other opals. Not sure why that is, but GIA says it's so. And next stone. This one I want to cut. And if somebody doesn't buy it, I'm going to buy it.
Hey,
Or I'm going to cut it for Michael.
I've had it for a while now. So.
Yeah. I mean, spinels of this color are just exceedingly rare. And such a perfect crystal. That's the only reason it still lives, because it is really perfection in a crystal. And some say it's sacrilege to cut such a thing, but won't hear that out of my mouth. Oops, you want me to use the tweezers? Yeah, you did.
Sure.
So spinel, really, really tough and hard stone. We're going to have a hard time lighting that sucker.
You got white paper?
That might help. Better.
Yeah, it's sweet.
But that's typical cubic form, like a diamond. Diamond forms this kind of shape also.
There, I got it on the screen.
So a couple of inclusions in it, but typical for cut spinels. I mean, they don't come clean like rubies. You don't get them perfectly clean. So I think this could be a remarkable cut stone. And, red spinels can bring many thousands per carat. And this is a 324. Going to cut carat and a half, carat and 3/4. I would think I could get out of it. So it just depends how the inclusions show up when you cut it. Typically when they cut a diamond, they would cut 2 pieces out of this, cut the tip off one end, cut a smaller stone, and then you have one bigger stone. But generally pretty darn clean. A couple of veils in it, but those can, when you cut a stone, they can hide pretty well if placed correctly. So
Talking about cutting this though?
I am. I think if it lasts through this, I think we should cut it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, there's a little risk to it just because of the inclusions, but the upside is pretty dramatic. So it'll be an easy stone to cut once I figure out how to lay it out, which I pretty much can see what to do now. So.
Well, if you want a spinel crystal, you'll love it here.
Yeah. Or buy it next time cut. So this material, when we bought it, when did we buy it?
Oh,
We bought it. We bought it a month before
yeah, so it would've
before it was banned. They due to issues. I mean, it's happened twice now. That the material was banned. Acquired before April 7th, because we bought it in Tucson. Is it? No.
It was shipped to-
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it came from Tanzania or from Thailand. Yeah, so I think a week or two before that, we received it, so fortunate timing. I mean, bad to see what's going on in Burma, but it's been going on for a long time because I was over in Thailand one time, and the rubies I had, I was worried that they were going to ban them before I could get them home. But it was a month after I got them home that the material was banned. And while I was there, they were shooting monks, and just been a lot of issues in Burma. Yeah. And Jeff, you've been to Burma. Yeah, I walked across the river into Burma. They let me there without shooting me, but at the time we couldn't go to Burma. But when it opened, Jeff went to Burma.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed Burma, or?
Yeah. I mean,
Where'd you go?
Yangon, all the different.
Which Yangon was what before that? Yangon was.
Trying to think. Yeah,
No
went to
doubt a British name that.
Yeah, to a few places. That's where I got one of my tattoos the traditional way.
Yeah. On the floor in a hut.
Yeah,
Hey.
and then
I don't know. He
yeah,
survived.
Yes.
Did you get infection from that one?
No, I got tested when I came back. I was kind of worried about that. No, it worked.
I worry about this guy traveling.
It was a cool country, though.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great beaches down south, too.
Uh-huh. Okay. Maybe I'll get there one day. Yeah.
Go back. I can get some spinel.
Get
I
some
think
more what?
I looked for some spinel for it, but it was. I remember I called him about it, but
Yeah. A lot of fakes.
yeah.
So. All right. Next stone. And there's more. You got more of that on Mineral Bike?
I do.
Yeah. There's some.
That top one.
That was the best one. There's more really high quality crystals on mineralmike.com. And the next stone is a sapphire. Really fine round, just beautifully cut, just great brilliance. And a pretty color. There we go.
A little bluer than what it is.
Yeah, closer to what's online. Yeah, this camera tends to make these a little bluer. But you can see the cut. I mean, it's just really a great cut, really high clarity stone, VS2 clarity, which for sapphire is really a great stone. But the cutting is just outstanding. I'm just going to make a really beautiful ring. And of course, sapphire has the durability that can take a lot of abuse.
Pretty big sapphire, 230.
Yeah, for, sapphires, the break in pricing on sapphires, 2 carat. Things above 2 carat is what investors consider worthwhile. So the price of 2 carat is significantly more than those under 2 carat. So this one weighs 238, comes to us from Sri Lanka. $37.50 with an appraised price of $7,020. So $31.87, which is a little over $1,300 a carat.
This one, like Rock Creek, has been heated. Or is this?
Yeah, this one's been heated. Yeah, almost everything in Sri Lanka is heated. Occasionally, you do find them unheated. I think I've had a few. I don't think this one's natural. I have to look it up, but I would say it's not natural. Although I do have a couple with certs that are natural. Yeah, it's important. It does increase the value, but I'm going to say this one's heated. It's probably 25% greater value for unheated. Make a great engagement ring. Just a great size for that. Lively. And just pretty color. I'm not sure if we call this cornflower.
It says it was enhanced by heating.
Yeah, okay. So it is heated. Yeah. All right, next one up is a garnet.
I like this one.
Yeah, I do too. Wasn't sure about the cut because it was kind of a simple design, but really happy with the outcome. Yeah. Just over 3 carat.
I thought that gem had a lot of dispersion.
Yeah, I think, well, you can see it in this light. Look at it. And dispersions break up a white light into spectral colors. And, this cut worked very well for that. And this one, there's quite a bit of change in different lights, daylight to incandescent. It can be a little more pink, a little more peach. And you get it in LED lighting, and the amount of dispersion just goes crazy. It's like with tanzanites. And LED lighting's kind of a new thing with gems. We're used to 2 light sources being daylight and incandescent lighting like we used to have in homes, but now LED lights are another variable. They look different, and like I say, the LED lights that are like in the fluorescent tube-like lighting just does remarkable things for gems. And I often say, well, that's not real, but it's becoming what is real. So our perception of how we look at gems and what they look at in different lights, is now changing with the different qualities of lights that we're using. So it adds a new perspective and something to take into consideration for me in the future. Just what is the light we're looking at these stones in? What is work lighting going to look like? And, You know, how is this stone going to appear in that type of lighting? So really pretty garnet. And I think this one's, you know, got a little bit in it, VS2, but it'll be an eye clean stone, just something minor in it, which again for garnets is typical. But really extraordinary brilliance with this stone. Praise price $13.90, $9.75 is our online price, and coupon code BOOM gets you $146 off that, whatever that is. 0.85 is $828 for the stone. If I had a piece okay, Mike. Thought I might have a piece of rough, but no. Next. Thank you. And another Tanzanite. This one is pretty remarkable too. As I recall, this one again changes color pretty dramatically. Yeah, this one's a full color changer. Maybe a little more to the violet. You know, there's still some violet in daylight equivalent lighting, but goes pretty strongly to pretty strongly to amethyst look. But again, the brilliance is excellent on it. You know, when you can get a gem that's just 100% brilliant when you look straight down on it. One of the benefits of square cushions and a smaller table like this, and nice even size of the step cuts on top. And it's all a step cut. You know, as I've talked about step cuts before, I can't believe that more people don't use step cuts. You know, they just do such remarkable brilliance. So another stone that presents red flash to it, which when you look online at stones, I don't talk about red flash much because it's so rare that, you know, everybody goes, oh, I want red flash. And well, good luck finding it. You know, it's mainly only bigger stones, deeper colored stones that are going to exhibit that. And, you know, and it's few and far between, even in deeper, larger stones. So this one weighs just over 14 carats. 94.50 is the price. Just over $8,000 with the 15% off using coupon code BOOM. The appraised price is $17,620. And price per carat, $573 a carat. You know, which for a remarkable stone, yeah, few smudges on the surface there. It's clean. Surface is clean. Cut's clean. Internally clean. VS1 clarity. It's a really pretty amazing stone.
Someone just asked, did you say it has a red flash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can even see it in the videos. And it's tough to get red flash to show in the videos. You know, most stones that have red flash, the red just looks violet. Looks like violet flashes, but this one actually shows even in the video the red flash. And this is a preformed piece of rough. So this is pretty much ready for cutting. Again, this is going to be either a cushion, probably an long anti cushion cut. So this is the unheated, supposed diesel color. I don't know if we can. Yeah, looks a little more diesel-y. So that's a stone. Then in the rough 29 karat, it's going to be another, it's probably 15, 16 karat finish stone.
See if you put the cushion tanzanite, the 14 karat, on your hand, so we will see it.
Sure.
Good size.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I have a big hand, and you can even see the red flash in this limited light. Yeah. So, nice stone. All right, next stone. No, the
Emeralds have stepping.
emerald, yes, they have 3 rows of steps, pavilion, and crown.
Okay.
Typical. You can put as many as you want in there, but. And well, it depends on the emerald cut. You know, this is an emerald cut. It has a step cut crown and a brilliant style pavilion, but it's still an emerald cut. So, but the standard emerald cut is all step cut. So what you see on the top of this stone is typically in an emerald cut, same on the pavilion. But this is a Berrien style emerald cut. So step cut crown, brilliant style pavilion. Where is?
What are we looking at here, Steve?
Oh, this is a Morganite. Berrien style Morganite weighs just under 4 carats. And I don't know where this one's from. If I were going to guess, I would say it's Nigeria, but I never did get a source on it. So likely, yeah. Therefore, I don't have treatments either, probably. Try not to have stones without sources, but occasionally you buy from somebody that they don't know either. Yeah. Regular suppliers always know it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I don't even remember where I got it from.
Could tell you.
It's a mystery stone. $790 is the sale price on this Morganite. So $671 with the 15% off.
Good ring stone.
Yeah, good durability. You know, hard stone that you can wear in a ring and wear it every day. You know, should hold up to the abuse.
Rose gold, yellow gold.
Yeah, rose gold is a good accent for it, but you know, the popularity of rose gold's a little waning, so we're doing less rose gold these days. So best color's probably white gold. We'll show it off the best. All right, next. The final hidden gem, 25 off this tanzanite, and it's really a beautiful color.
Yeah, this is a nice gem. Getting that hidden gem uploaded there, Jeff?
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Getting it up.
Just remember, everybody, if you refresh that page where all the gemstones are on MoreGems.com, you will now see the second hidden gem.
Yeah, I'm thinking this one was mostly blue. Yeah. So it's primarily blue color, some violet to it. It's probably 30% violet and 70% blue, but just really a beautiful blue, beautiful cutting. You know, just a fully brilliant stone. The appraised price on this one, $3,685. The regular price of $2,050 and 25 off that, $1,537. Ooh, $438 a carat.
Wow.
You know, it looks like it has red flash. I'm not going to guarantee it. I suppose I could. We'll say it has some. You know, it's not dramatic, but there is red flash to it because this is the type of color that you get it in, but not always. But I can see it and just looking at it in these lights. Yeah, if I can get it in focus. But just a really nice size for a ring. Where's my finger? Or a pendant. You know, even from there, you can see the brilliance on the stone. Yeah, nice size, you know, one of the most popular sizes in the business. You know, those 3 to 4 carat stones. You know, when Tanzanite was really, really difficult to get, you know, back before the 1990, 3 carat sizes were absolutely the toughest size to get. You know, it was still in a price range people could afford, and there was so few of them that they just didn't go far. You know, so I often tell investors, you know, they're always looking at these 10, 15, 20 carat stones. And they don't miss the 3 caraters because you're going to find those the most saleable stones when the price of material goes up. You know, if this stuff goes up to $1,500 a carat, a 3 carat stone is $4,500. You know, which typically is where the strong market is. You know, those 20 caraters they're buying are then going to be, you know, $30,000, $40,000. You know, that's not always the easiest sale to make. So, you know, this is really the important size and a tough size to get really top colors like this. We're going to wait until somebody buys that stone. Somebody should own it. I mean, it's really, really, really a nice stone. You know, I debated whether to put it in here. Why should I take such a great stone and give 25 off on it? You know, it'll sell as it is for full price, and you know, so it's something for somebody to think about out there. Okay, we'll go on to the next one.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, maybe a little.
Put on your finger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get it.
You show
I
them.
know you're thinking about it, and somebody else is going to jump on it, and you're going to go, damn, I should have bought that stone.
Great stone.
It's a great stone.
Jeffrey, you want that stone?
You know,
I don't know.
My next stone purchase is probably going to be a Portuguese stone.
Oh, yeah. Jeffrey loves the Portuguese.
What color?
I want the Tanzanite one that went viral on Reddit.
Oh, yeah. That was like a 5-carat one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to hand over that diesel stone.
This is a Portuguese cut.
This is?
Well, it's a Portuguese oval.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a standard Portuguese oval.
I
That's
like-
why it has so much brilliance, you know, that
Yeah.
Portuguese style pavilion. If you do it right, I mean, it is what produces the most brilliance. So it just doesn't have it's short a couple of rows on the crown for a full Portuguese oval. But, yeah. But nice stone.
Very nice.
While we're waiting, Glenna wanted to know if she could see the last Morganite on your massive finger. We really need like a model finger on here.
Yeah, we need a woman here.
Do we have
with
like a-
normal size hand?
We don't have like a mannequin hand we can use.
I used to have one, but it was too small.
Too
It
small.
made everything look huge.
I think in Japan they came out with some like realistic skin now. Maybe we can get one of those hands with some like.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, Glenna. See if I can get this right. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
There you go.
whoop. Not the best light for it.
Yeah, that camera doesn't show the color very well. Or
Yeah,
anything really.
no.
It's for faces.
Yeah, that's a.
We
Not
need
that
one
this
camera
camera is a whole lot better, but
with a model we hire, and all she does is just leave her hand there,
Good.
and then you have an extra camera.
well, I tried to get Mike and Carrie to do a jewelry show.
Where's Carrie at right now?
She said she's down, but we just gotta find some time.
Okay. All right,
Ready for
we can move on. Our sales pitch didn't work.
Good try, Steven.
It'll go. Okay. This is pretty much a true road light, meaning it's not quite as pink as the umbellites, but still has some of the pink in it. It's a big stone. Getting garnets this size. In general, I would call the colors between the picture and this video to be accurate. Not quite as pink as the video, but pinker than, I think the picture's actually pretty close. And this camera is going to show it brown, but yeah, it doesn't look like this camera. Well. Oh, I can't get the. Whoop. So, really big face on this stone. I mean, there's no extra depth to it. You know, it's a brilliant style pavilion, which is the shallowest pavilion you can put on a cut stone, and a step cut crown. So it measures almost 18 by 13 millimeters. So, big garnet. Appraised value $2,810. $1,725 is our online price. So puts it at $1,466, which is a little over 100 a carat. 115 bucks a carat, which for a big garnet like this is really a well-priced stone. This is big enough to make a good ring. Straight here. Wow.
That is a big gem, big garnet.
Yeah, big garnet. Ooh, look at how big that is.
If I can cut it for a second.
Yeah.
If anyone tried the rare 25 code for the hidden gem, it set the wrong date, so it works now. Yep, you did, Michael.
Oh, no.
Oh, yep.
So if you tried to buy any of the...
Somebody was attempting to get it, and he let me know. So the rare 25 does now work on the hidden gems.
So if you tried rare 25 on the hidden gems, it didn't work, but now it will. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's my bad.
And they just placed the order. So thank you, Roger.
Thanks,
You
Roger.
purchased the Tanzanite. Is that the
cool.
one you sold everybody on, Steve?
All right.
You were.
Yeah, we did a good job. Yeah.
It's a great stone.
Yeah, you'll love it. Yeah, it is. It is a fantastic stone. So, did I finish up with that rhodolite? I guess I did.
Well, somebody was asking, with the rhodolites, is it more brown, red, or burgundy?
It is the picture. The picture online is the most accurate.
Okay. So it looks like more red, burgundy red.
It's got a little violet to it, but
Yeah.
it's more red than like the umbellites. You know, if this was an umbellite, it would be $5,000. You know, a stone this size and umbellite color would be just a magic stone. You know, but even for a rhodolite, this is a big rhodolite garnet. You know, and rhodolite is just typically deeper color. You know, not as brilliant as the light garnets, but still, this is really a beautiful stone. You know, this is traditional rhodolite, what we expect from a fine rhodolite. Yeah, that's why they gave umbellite a different name, because it really is a different look, even though it's the same color range, just lighter. Yeah, so. But they're $450 a carat instead of $300 a carat for, you know, what those other umbellites were. Yeah. So, but it's been a pretty long time since I've had a 12 carat stone. Hopefully I'll have more. I've got still got some nice rough. So particularly since the friend that just went there just didn't have much success in garnets at all. So, you know, things change so quickly. It's just they're here one day and they're gone the next. That's why I bought all the garnets I could when they were available just about a year ago. That was 6 months ago. Yeah. So this was the other gem that was
Yes.
25 off.
Yeah.
You got another chance on this hidden gem. Let's sell it. Yeah, again, the Morganites, all but I think I have a couple big Morganites still left out of that group we bought, or at least one. But because it's like a 40 carat, so a little tougher to sell those. But this is really for Morganite. It's the price of what a 2 carat Morganite is per carat or less. Many of the Morganites I have are 170, 180 a carat. I just bought some that are 240 a carat that are really no better color than this. And they're 3, 4 carat stones. So, and this one's natural. Another benefit. Right now, there's no price differential in Morganite, like there is in sapphire and rubies and emeralds, untreated are 30, 40, 50% greater price. But the Morganites, you can't sort them natural. Nobody's gonna, it's hard to identify irradiated stones compared to non-irradiated stones. It doesn't show up on any instrument that I know of, at least as of yet.
And you cut that stone.
And I cut this stone. What's your point? It is really beautifully cut stone. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the cutting's nothing like this, although they do pretty good cutting, but, it's still not this quality of cutting. Yeah. All right.
Cool. You got some questions?
Yes. So, question on the Morganite, that 3 point something carat one. Is the color constant all the way through?
No, you always get more concentrated color at the tips. It's just true in aqua or, in many, many stones. You'll get a deeper color in a light colored stone. The ends of the stone where light passes through almost twice as much material, they're going to look deeper color. So it is lighter in the center and darker on the ends. That's true of most stones, although the big Morganite really doesn't show that. Partly due to the cut. A step cut is going to concentrate the color more evenly than a brilliant style cut does. That's my explanation anyway. Yeah, so, it's just true of that style of cutting. That's why step cuts will accent color better and will highlight color better than a brilliant style cut does. But to get a step cut, you have to have deeper material. So you can't cut everything step cut because of depth. But I think it adds somewhat sometimes to the beauty of a stone, having those focal points at the end of the stone being deeper saturation and just varying throughout the stone a little bit. That's how I see it.
Somebody wanted to take a look at. Could we show the video of the faceted Willow opal again?
Sure can.
There it is. And again, this can be set in a ring or a pendant, correct, Steve?
Yeah. Opal in a ring is riskier, of course. They're not the toughest stone on the planet. But we do it regular. You risk damage more in a ring than a pendant.
I'm going to show it in the video, Steve. Pull it out.
Huh?
Pull it out. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, it's pretty nice when the red flash comes through on that pretty well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, better than most I've cut. I wonder, just because it's a brilliant pavilion. Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I have the notes on this, but yeah, this, I should redo this, the angles, whatever they were cut at. And the translucency of this stone is probably just right to give you that much of the red flash from the back facets. Really is kind of mesmerizing to look at that. It's hypnotic. I could get it moving right.
Finger.
By me. That's cool. Sorry.
You need this, and then that opposed bar stone. And you would just be
put
like
those
looking
together.
At your hands like all over the place. Somebody was asking, with trillion cuts, you don't seem to have that many. Is there a reason, or?
I was about to cut one today for the show, actually. Yeah, I have a trillion cut aqua. I just was pretty tired of cutting. Michael said you had enough, and I agreed. Yeah. So next show, there'll be a trillion cut aqua. I mean, it's ready to go. I may get to it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Trillion cuts, trillion cut back in the 90s and early 2000s was the hottest cut there was. I mean, all the cutters, half their time was spent cutting trillions. Everybody wanted them. So it's waned quite a bit. Trillion cut's still a popular cut, but not as popular. It's difficult to make a good ring with them, although we've done some styles that looked really nice, but there's almost nothing available commercially for trillion cuts. So there's some issues with it, so I don't force material to cut a trillion cut. When it's naturally trillion cut, when you preform it, yes, I'll cut a trillion cut, but it's not a real, most rough is not shaped for trillion cuts. It's shaped for ovals, emerald cuts, that kind of thing. But trillions are when you have a call for it and you waste some material to get it is more often why you cut a trillion. The piece of rough is just not generally naturally gonna be, say, I'm a trillion cut. This aqua was, you cut out some inclusions and you look at what you got left, and this one was a trillion cut, so not as commercially viable as it used to be, I guess would be the answer. Even in Tanzanite, which we sell a ton of Tanzanite, trillion, when I mount them as a pendant, they have sold well, but it's not the most highly desired cut. But they cut beautifully. It's as I always tell people, the most brilliant cuts are the ones that are 1-to-1 proportions, and trillions are 1-to-1, squares are 1-to-1, rounds 1-to-1. So they will produce the greatest brilliance. So a trillion has that benefit. And this aqua will be beautiful, I'm sure.
With that, about kind of diminishing the decline in the market for trillions, there was a question, are there any gems that you're seeing a decline in the market?
No, I mean, demand is up dramatically for gems. We've gone through a period where mining has been really limited because of COVID. So right now demand for anything of high quality, low quality stones are with no demand, but anything you cut that's really high quality has a huge demand, and much more than anything you cut really fine quality just sells. So the demand for low end, low price stones is where the waning market is. There's just no market for average stones.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen any species I couldn't sell that was a really high quality stone. There's just a market for everything.
One person was asking about the diesel tanzanite. If we can show that again, but they were asking if best for a ring or a pendant.
For personal appreciation, it would be a ring. They are deeper color. So in a pendant, it's because it's not moving as much and you can't show it as much. It's probably not going to be as good as a pendant as it would be in a ring. The appreciation is pretty much looking at it in different directions, different lights, shows all those colors that are in it. And, I think you'll get a much more appreciation out of it as a pendant, because as you move to different lights.
As a ring.
As a ring, yes, sorry. When you move to different lights, you get to look at it, and the personal wearer, as a pendant, they barely get to see it unless they hold it up and look at the piece. It's, I think definitely the choice would be a ring stone. Nothing wrong with a pendant, but a ring stone's just going to be much more appreciated by the wearer.
Okay.
Which is probably true of most stones, but deeper colors, particularly like this, that have unique character that shows when you move it, is where a ring stone works best.
And on the topic of tanzanite, is purple blue tanzanite still considered the most valuable?
They're the most saleable, partly because they're the most available. It's what the market was developed on. I get so many people asking for all blue, and I just don't get it. It's not what made tanzanite what it is, because there's so few all blue. And unless they're the finest color, the all blue ones are, in my opinion, inferior stones, because they, in incandescent lighting or lighting other than daylight, they don't show a beautiful color like the ones that have both colors. The ones with blue and purple, to me, are the stones to own. It's fine if they're leaning either way, more purple or more blue, long as they do some change. And you can see different colors in different lights is where I see the finest stones. I see websites pushing blue, you should buy them blue. I disagree with that totally. The amount of people I get calling asking for blue, my comment is, do they even know what they're looking for? They look at stones like on cruises or in jewelry stores, and yes, they look blue because they have blue lights. A store that focuses on diamonds. If you look at their lighting, the lighting is blue. Some of them is so blue, it's daylight beyond. They're 6,500 Kelvin, which is blue, and in tanzanite will only show it as blue. So some people get that impression that all tanzanite is blue because they're showing it in the blue light. If
The booths.
oh yeah, all the booths at the trade shows, they have blue lights. I mean, you just look at it, you know what they're selling. They want it to look blue. But that's not what made tanzanite, because so few stones are that all blue. And if you take those out of these booths that are all blue, they'll go to purple, but people get the impression that they're all blue. That's how they are. When they come into my store, my lights are more leaning towards a purple, and so many people come, oh, it's got purple in it, like they never saw purple in a tanzanite before, but it's 90% of everything that's available is blue purple, and it is what made tanzanite what it is today, such a popular gem. It's not because it was all blue, but again, it's the lights. Most stores are focused on diamonds, and their lighting is more blue, and tanzanites will look blue in that light. So that's what people get to expect. And, you shouldn't be looking for those stones. You should be looking for the mixes, either direction. If you like the purples, more towards the purple is great, but at least it should change more to blue. Although there are some unique stones that are just purple, and I like those for collectors, but it's not what I recommend. The ideal stones are somewhere between 30% and, it can be 30% blue or 30% purple, but at least have that much of the other color in it, 30%, and 70% the other, but more towards the even mix is where I see the ideal stones, like that big stone. I mean, it's I don't know what it's more blue, but it's probably 30, 70 maybe, so that range between, and I shouldn't get into that because there's some all blue stones in these big ones that are just remarkable. I mean, they look like a friggin' sapphire, and those are beautiful too. So, but generally Tanzanite should have a nice mix of blue and purple. So whenever you're looking at Tanzanite, you want to look at more than one type of light. Try and see it in incandescent light, and try and see it in daylight or daylight equivalent lighting, so you can see the full range of color. And that's why I grade Tanzanites under two different lights, because they're like two different stones. Yeah. So.
Carry an extra lamp around in our backpack.
Yes, yeah, we carry an incandescent because most people don't have that type of lighting, but it is at least and it still is. The LEDs for home lighting are representing incandescent lights. They're Kelvin, they're 3,000 Kelvin, whereas blue light is 5,000 and greater Kelvin. So it's two different looks and lights that you can get either with LEDs or incandescent bulbs and fluorescent bulbs, but something to look at, knowing what that stone is in all different lights.
And all the tanzanite that we sell online, you do list, the percentage of blue and purple,
Yes.
So that helps.
Yes, yeah, it's a new addition to how we grade stones because it shows the whole character of the gem rather than just pushing it as the blue stone and only showing it in blue lights. I could do that here too, and they all look much more blue than they do in incandescent. So very key point to grading and looking at tanzanite is seeing it in more than one light. So,
All right.
okay.
Don't bring up
One of those long answers. But a real important thing for tanzanite. It's most important. Yeah.
All right, some cutting questions. Is a left-handed mass terribly important for a left-handed user, cutter?
I have a left-handed mass and a right-handed mass. It depends on the machine. I bought a right-handed facette. Couldn't make it work for me. So I sent it back and got a left-handed. My other machines are all right-handed. So it depends on the machine. I found that the facette has a what's that called, protractor mass, where it swings over the thing, and left-handed is the only thing that worked for me. So it depends on the machine, but in general, most machines other than the facette, you can probably get used to either way, but I think a right-handed person would take a right-handed mass, left-handed mass. Yeah.
Okay. What is the average amount of time it takes you to, a lot of the stones that we display are cut by you. What's the average amount of time that it takes for you to cut a stone?
Best 3 hours, worst 30 hours. That big amethyst that was on the show tonight was probably 10 hours. polishing issues. But
Why is amethyst so hard to polish?
I have no idea. Ask any cutter, though. I've had a few say, "Oh, this is easy," but I don't know. I don't see it that way, and I've cut a lot of them. Quartz is just scratches. I mean, it just doesn't want to take a good polish. So
Yeah. But I think, and that's part of the reason people like your stones. You're a good cutter and everything. I mean, I don't know how many chats I get about people wanting to send you stones to cut every week. It's nuts, but
yeah.
It's an
Well, I
advantage.
started telling people $500 to cut a stone, and they weren't refusing me, so I just said no. Yeah.
$500 an hour, maybe. How about? Yeah.
Well, yeah, when you consider it's at least 5 hours, and some stones worse. My plumber makes $110 an hour, so
Yeah.
and he's a cheap one. So I'm underpricing my services, but that's why I don't have time. I want to cut my own stuff. I want to own it after I'm done. I cut yours and I'm cut loose, and there's nothing to be gained. So I want the pride of ownership and being able to do this and sell to others. Otherwise that's all I'd be doing is recuts, and that's not my thing.
So if you want a Steve Moriarty cut, gotta come here.
Yep, got to buy our stuff. Yeah. So I did tell a guy $10,000 once, and he thought his stone was worth enough he'd pay that. I said, I was just kidding. $10,000. I might start cutting for you. Yeah, that would be enough incentive.
This gentleman, he's a new cutter. He thought you mentioned it, but he got some rough umbalite garnet. Is that a good stone to start cutting with?
Yes. I mean, if you paid a lot for umbalite, maybe you don't want that to be your first stone. But it generally presents not too many problems, particularly the polishing for a new cutter. It's relatively easy to polish. So that's what I see is every new cutter's greatest problem is polishing, and cutting and buying rough, and it's all difficult. But it's a garnet's a good starter as long as it's not too dark, because you'll be dissatisfied in the end if it's. If it looks dark when you look down on it on a white piece of paper, good chance it's going to cut dark. So.
All right, and I believe last question: what's harder to polish, a harder or softer stone?
Well, it depends how soft and depends how hard, I guess. No, even sapphires is easy to polish. Its hardness is not the basis for what is difficult to polish. It's just each individual stone and having the right lap to do the right polish and the right polishing material for each stone. Some soft stones are very difficult. Apatite is a nightmare. As we talked about quartz, and it's kind of medium hardness, so most of the other stones that are similar hardness besides tanzanite and quartz, I don't have any problem with. I've got some stones on the dock now that I don't know if I'll ever get them polished. Although I've done sphalerite before, I'm having a hard time getting sphalerite polished right now. But, and it changes, how difficult things are to polish. It's like it's up to their mood, not yours, or I'm not sure. So, but hardness is not what relates to how hard it is to polish.
Okay. All right. So everybody that's left tonight, again, any of the stones on the show tonight, you can go to MoreGems.com. big green banner across the top where you can click and you can find all the stones that are left. You can use the coupon code BOOM in checkout. That'll give you an additional 15% off the items. You can pay with credit card. You can pay through PayPal. There's also bread financing that you can pay monthly, up to 12 months, I believe. Or you can contact us and you can do a layaway. Just give us a call tomorrow when we open. I think that's it, huh?
All right, folks, remember, shop online at MoreGems.com. We want to thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get alerts for when we go live. Also, check out our video links at the bottom of the stream. That's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Steve Moriarty. Keep on gemming.